Hello and welcome to Quarantine and Chill with the Australian Transformers Weekly Cast. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world, confined to our quarters in Australia for fear of that. This is episode 211. We are recording live on Saturday, the 14th of March, 2020. Because if you're at home, if you're home every day, it doesn't really matter when Friday is anymore. This episode, we will be talking about Melbourne Toy Fair reveals for the new Lynx figure, and a couple of other things that didn't quite end up being Melbourne Toy Fair reveals. Some new Earthrise figures also revealed, and more coming up in this month's episode of Australian Transformers Weekly, Monthly / Fortnightly / whatever. Welcome to the show. This week we are coming to you from our undisclosed locations as we isolate ourselves from COVID-19 around Australia. I'm Jason, coming to you from Sydney. We have Bradley coming to us from Perth and Alan from Melbourne. How are you guys going?
I'm doing well. I thought we were meant to be from undisclosed locations, that you just said where we are.
Well, it was undisclosed until I told everyone where you are.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, let's be honest, looking at your background, no one's going to figure out where you are anyway.
I can't figure out where I am either.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Too. How's it going? It's been a few weeks. Things happen. People got busy. I was in Melbourne last weekend, so I couldn't do anything. Yeah.
I was in Melbourne.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, technically, I was in Geelong because I went to Geelong for a wedding, but I was in Melbourne for a couple of days. And yes, anywho, what's been happening? Have you guys been panic purchasing Earthrise Transformers and doing all sorts of things?
It's nice to get out and have a hunt, but that's pretty much been short-lived, hasn't it? Because, everyone's just hiding now.
Well, kind of. Did you guys manage to purchase any of the essentials like Earthrise Optimus Prime or toilet paper?
I took the little one out on a bit of a drive because I had a bit of an inkling something was going on in one of the shopping centres that was in a lockdown, and lo and behold,
you thought a shopping centre was in lockdown, so you went.
Everyone was off there buying toilet paper, and I'm off like, oh, let's go to the toy shop here, and
everyone's looking for TP. You're looking for OP.
Yeah,
you gotta get your priorities right.
Yeah.
And there you go. I found the shelf, all the fresh Earthrise, and a mix of some of the other figures I hadn't seen on the shelves yet. And yeah, I left with a bit of a bag full there, so that was good.
Did you add to the Prime Shrine?
I did. Yeah, I think I'll end up. I'm tempted whether I keep that in the box set up with the trailer or not. That's maybe one of my only limited in-box figures. Because it is sort of set up as I would display it already, so tempted.
You mean Gimp Prime?
Well, I think I would actually open him up, ungimp him, and maybe modify it Reeboks. Yeah,
Reeboks. What about Nikes?
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Yeah. He added something that added a bit of ass.
Isn't it Adidas who does the Transformers tie-in shoes now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I've combined the two, and I've got Earthrise toilet paper.
That's not Earth that's rising, but sure.
Yeah.
So just like to get away from Transformers for a minute, has everyone been able to purchase toilet paper?
I got in there on the day, and when my wife found out I bought an extra 12-pack. It was like eyes lit up. Like
you got lots of brownie points that day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brown. You got the toilet paper for it.
Yeah.
I brought a few singles, and we've been giving them to people as birthday presents.
So I went to the Coles that's a block away from me. The day that everyone started panic buying toilet paper, I went into that Coles at about 8 p.m. and I saw people walking around with toilet paper, and I thought, oh, that mustn't be too bad. So I've gone to the aisle, and there's like, you know, the aisle is completely empty except just a one little section that they'd restocked. It was all the Coles brand toilet paper, and so I walked towards it because I actually ran out of toilet paper. And I walked towards it, and I'm aware suddenly that as I'm walking towards it, 6 people are walking towards it with me, and I'm like, guys, like we all sort of looked at each other and laughed and chuckled, and I went, this is bad, but like I actually really did run out of toilet paper, and everyone's like, sure, buddy. no one believes you that you actually ran out that week, so fair enough. Like it doesn't matter. I managed to purchase toilet paper, and not because I was panic buying it, but because I actually needed it. Yeah. So yeah. Look, in all seriousness, it's getting pretty bad out there with panic buying and supplies and stuff. So just take care of yourselves, and do take care of one another. If you see someone who needs a hand, give them a hand. Like, help your neighbors, and make sure that your neighbors know that you are available to help them as well.
Yeah, I think panic buying toilet paper is similar to any of us when we walk into a store and see a complete wave of something we've just been waiting for.
That's not panic. That's not panic buying. That's excited buying.
Well, you panic if you think your wife's going to find out.
Yes. You could have bought Transformers and toilet paper and just had a zero sum of experiences for the day.
They cancel each other out.
Yeah, they do. All right, shall we move on and talk about some Transformers? We're going to move swiftly on and get to the news. Straight into news.
Hasbro news.
That will take us into some news.
What news comes from Via Yonder?
So, like, I've put up the Earthrise artwork because it is Earthrise time. Earthrise is now available in Australia. Much better distribution than we had for Siege last year. Much better distribution than we had with Siege last year. Most of New South Wales completely missed Siege Wave 1 last year because it didn't end up in any retailer. But this year we are seeing Wave 1 at Myer, Kmart, and Big W stores nationwide. It's also shown up smaller independent chains, so that's Toyworld, Casey's Toys, and things like that. But we are still waiting for Target and Toymate. Toymate seems to have a lot of Siege, which is pretty good. I saw someone posted some stuff in the discussion group earlier tonight showing a wall of Siege figures at Toymate. That was really good. Wow. If you're looking at Siege. But yeah, no, still no Earthrise at Toymate. But if you're in New South Wales, then it's been a long wait for Myer to actually get their stock. It seems to have popped up this week finally. I was in Melbourne last week, and Myer mercifully had a 20% off all toys, including Transformers. Yeah. So I managed to acquire a few Earthrise Transformers for 20% off. That sale finished on Monday, and it seems like all of the stock came into Sydney during the week this week. So,
yeah. Yeah. You say Myer's out of stock. Well, all the Earthrise guys I got week previous, they're all from Myer, but now they've all been picked clean.
Oh no, they haven't. Like a lot of the ones in New South Wales have still got stock.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's showing up randomly, I'd say, around Victoria, I'd say. I was very lucky. I did get mine from Toy Kingdom / Toyworld, so I saw them, I grabbed them, that was it.
Yeah, I went into Target yesterday, and I had to do like a lap or two before I saw like the one lone, I think it was Shockwave from the Bumblebee Cyberverse line. I was like, yeah, that's where the Transformers are. But it was just him, and I was like, I've seen people posting on the board saying Target and maybe sometimes even Kmart. They're like, do these guys just not stock Transformers anymore? Because it's been pretty slim pickings for them.
I think Target's been the worst that I've seen. They just got nothing, but my Kmart's done pretty well with a lot of the figures. They haven't got the larger ones, like the Prime, the regular ones. Yeah, they've got plenty of those in the Cyberverse too. So, but yeah.
So it is worth talking about prices as we talk about availability. So the standard RRP for a Deluxe is now $35, and the standard RRP for a Voyager is now $50, and which it has been for a while actually, and Leaders are $90. Now, what we're seeing in a lot of places. So Kmart seems to be sticking to $29 for their regular price, and Toyworld and other places are sticking to $34.99. But what this means also is that you can price match some of these shops against each other. Not all of them will do a price match, so Toyworld generally will not. Annoyingly, Toyworld has the 2 extra Cyberverse Deluxe figures that I just refuse to pay $40 for them when Kmart's only charging $29. Toyworld won't price match, so my resolve is basically to wait until Kmart gets the new ones.
That's a pretty good resolve. Is that the Builder figure line or another
Yes.
line? Okay.
Yeah, so Grimlock and Hot Rod are now out in Toyworld in Australia, but they're $40 and they're the only ones that have them. But the Cyberverse Deluxes, the first 4 of them, are at Kmart at $29 each.
Yeah. I might have splurged a bit there and done that.
Fair enough too. I just can't bring myself to pay $40 when I could save $10 by buying them at a different shop.
I was already buying the Prime at a bunch of the other guys. I was just on a roll. You know how you get.
Yeah, I know. All right. So look, that's some Australian availability news. We are going to move on. I was going to go for this for the Earthrise. Earthrise figures have been appearing and disappearing and reappearing on Myer's website, but you do have to be a little bit careful as you order them from Myer because you are not guaranteed to get the one that you want. I'm just going to click through here to Optimus Prime just to make my point.
Oh, they're doing. Oh no!
So the leaders on Myer.
That's crazy.
It's Optimus Prime or Astro Train, and it does say the item will be selected at random. Yes.
That's just disgusting.
They need
So
to.
having said this, I do know that some people have placed orders at Myer, and in the comments field, they've actually put comments saying, "Can you please send this figure?" And it kind of works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we'll find out.
Yeah. It's just a very. I think that should be called into question. It sounds like a shoddy practice. Saying
it's a very common practice because apparently the items both have the same SKU from Hasbro. So like Myer legitimately, if it was being packed automatically by a robot, they can't tell.
Yeah, true.
So blame Hasbro.
Blame Hasbro. Blame Hasbro.
It's not even a real toy distributor anyway.
No.
All right, let's move on. While we are talking about War for Cybertron Earthrise figures, we have been getting previews of what's coming up later in the year, including Skylynx, which was just revealed to be this year's Commander class figure coming out sometime around the middle of the year. We have been told that he is coming to, I think it was Big W first, and he'll be exclusive of Big W for a couple of weeks. And then he should be available wider to more things. And Hasbro then followed this up. So this was revealed at Toy Fair about a month ago. And then a week later, they had him on display at Toy Fair in Melbourne. Some Ozformers members went along and dutifully placed a G1 Skylynx next to the new War for Cybertron version for some comparison photos, as we can sort of see here. And also, he looks quite a looker. In fact, I think it's fair to say that he is the absolute best looking and most ingenious and very definitely the cleverest version of Skylynx ever to be. Is that not right? His most magnificence.
Yeah. Yeah, that's again. It just looks like they've taken it, from an animation cell in the cartoon.
It does. There's a few other photos that are not that useful when they're that small, but that's okay.
No, but I've seen those in-hand photos too. They're very nice.
Yeah. So this does actually bring up one other thing to be aware of, which is that the toy backings for the Earthrise figures have a constructible map that does have sort of some red print on it that you can see clear. Or I guess you can eliminate the red print and read the remaining thing a little bit easier with the text spec decoder, which has made a comeback in Earthrise. The little red piece of cellophane. Which Bradley, do you want to just hold that up to the camera there? I'll just.
Yeah, sure.
But, look at that, and it's all right. We
Oh.
It looks like a lolly that's been sucked.
It makes your whole background disappear like it wasn't real.
Oh, it actually does too. Look at that.
That's my webcam.
Oh, I can see through the illusion.
So you can use the decoder to read some parts of the map. It's unknown whether or not these things are important or not in the grand scheme of things for the toy line, but we do see things like the dead universe is now a place on the map in the universe. So the dead universe and Char, which were very important in the previous run of IDW comics. They show up in the maps, and it's not really clear whether it's whether it's that important or not. One thing we do know is that because the Earthrise line introduces mercenaries, there's a good chance that the map is ultimately sort of showing you the path that the Autobots take to get to Earth, and it probably goes past a few places where they might attract a bit of undue attention, like Quintessons and mercenaries. But we'll see how they go.
Yeah. When you get them all, X marks where the toilet paper went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Skylynx is the commander class figure, which means I think he's gonna be priced somewhere between $120 and $160, depending on where you buy him from, and he'll probably end up coming down to $80 or $90 on random sales on Amazon here and there. But if you do try to get him first up, it'll probably end up costing you a little bit more.
Yeah, similar to the Jetfire, I think there'll be a few options.
Yeah, I think we all assumed that Jetfire would sort of come in and then disappear, but Jetfire is definitely still available in a lot of places online.
Yeah. Maybe they just, everyone thought it was going to be such a short supply of Jetfire, but here we are, 6 months?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and it's still plentiful most everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of Jetfires out there.
Yeah.
If you want Jetfire, you're not going to be you're not going to be lost for one. Let's move on. The same for Skylynx, I assume.
Well, I'm just waiting for the because he's meant to be coming out with a big W toy sale, I think. So I'm just going to be waiting for that. So
he should be out at Big W earlier around mid-year. We'll see how that goes. There's a couple other photos of them as well. Wait, let's see. What are we? So these are the ones that I think these came from Takara. I'm not sure. We did find out that I'm not sure if we talked about this on the podcast last time or not. The NASA logo is officially licensed.
We did talk about that.
Yeah, which does make sense. If he's disguising himself as a shuttle, he should have a NASA logo on it. So
yeah, that's the one from the 80s or the 90s, I think you said.
Yeah, it's the one from the 80s.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. There were a couple of toys that were revealed while the Melbourne Toy Fair was going on, which were meant to be revealed at the Melbourne Toy Fair, but they went early, and so everyone already knew about them, and people's egos got bruised. So we are looking at Earthrise, Sunstreaker, and
Trailbreaker, or is it Trailblazer in this one?
Who labeled this? Who labeled this fucking image from TFW? It says Sunstreaker breakdown. Goodness me!
What?
Anyway, whatever. It's Sunstreaker and Trailbreaker. Now, did we decide that Sunstreaker was a repaint of someone? I feel like he's related to Runamuck, but I'm not sure.
Actually, maybe it could be a repaint of Wheeljack.
Yeah, I thought this, and then I was told that I was wrong, so I don't know. Anyway, Sunstreaker and Trailbreaker, they have been revealed. They are coming in Wave 3, which is going to be much, much later this year, apparently. So, probably not until the latter half of the year. That kind of goes with how these sort of rendered reveals go. Is Trailbreaker and Trailbreaker's vehicle mode, which, surprise, surprise, looks fairly much like Hoist's vehicle mode. And Sunstreaker looks like a nice, sporty Lamborghini car thingy. Lamborghini-ish.
Yeah, a non-copyright infringing Lamborghini.
Yeah. A Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Cool. These guys coming, they're deluxes, so they'll be standard price. They're not exclusive or anything like that, thankfully. So we should see them at standard distribution in Australia. And I believe they've already gone up for pre-order from a bunch of sites as well.
Nice. Everywhere.
Everywhere, yes. All right, let's move on from these guys, and we're going to talk about some Studio Series. We have seen Studio Series 61 Sentinel Prime. We're looking at stock images for him here. cool. I mean, like, it's Sentinel Prime. Yeah, actually, his vehicle mode looks pretty good. I find Sentinel Prime's vehicle mode reminds me a lot of the vehicles from the Chinese sci-fi movie, The Wandering Earth. It's like they're emergency vehicles, but just beefed up slightly in a way. I don't know. But yeah, that's just how Sentinel Prime rocks, I guess. Oddly enough, it's the exact same photo that you see here and here as you see on the back of the box, because they are stock photos. Actually, they are. Yeah, so you see you can see the red coming through on that. So Sentinel Prime there, and we've got Scrapper, who's SS60, one of your Constructicons. One that actually looks like a bipedal robot, which is unusual for the Constructicons in the movie line. Yeah. I'm well known to be not that impressed at movie Constructicons. I don't really care about any of the movie lots, but that's fine. Like, I don't mind Sentinel Prime actually, except for the weird facial hair, but whatever.
Yeah. Either facial hair or he's been slobbering for a while.
I mean, he's pretty old.
Yeah.
Alpha Ryan's got it, you know. I mean,
he does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure when these guys are due out. I feel like they're not too far out actually. So I think we're getting 57, 58, 59 in stores at the moment. So they might be the next wave that's due. Are either of you guys collecting Studio Series?
No, but I can tell it's a lot better than the original release. A lot more black. Bit more mixed colors, definition in there. So
that's pretty much how Studio Series rolls.
I sort of burnt out on the movie collections as the movies were coming out. Studio Series, I mean, it looks great, and I wish I was collecting them, but yeah, I sort of got burnt out on Michael Bay formers.
I think it's worth pointing out that this is the 60th and 61st release in the line. Like, Studio Series has been going for a good 2 or 3 years now. Like, it's quite an accomplishment. Like, the line must be proving popular for up to 60 robots. And also, they don't do small robots. Like, the smallest one in Studio Series is, the smallest thing that you can buy in Studio Series is a Deluxe. They do have smaller sets. Like, they got the 3 motorbikes and stuff like that. They're pretty small if you put them all together. But the smallest thing that you can buy is a Deluxe price point. So 60 releases into the line, it's doing pretty well.
Very much so.
All the original releases that came out, the fans back then, I mean, half of them got broken because there were kids that were getting into the movies. Now that they're older, they're sort of rediscovering it and getting the better quality figure and collecting it actually for general now. So I mean, that's just one theory, but that's
true. Good. Let's look at one other Studio Series release that's coming out, which I am actually interested in, although I don't know what it's going to be, a repaint or a retool of, is the Off-Road Bumblebee. Now, at the beginning of the Bumblebee movie, he's a Jeep, and when we saw going back a year and a half ago now, when we saw some of the original shots of Bumblebee as a Jeep in the preview for the Bumblebee movie, I remember thinking like the Jeep mode actually makes a lot of sense. But obviously it only lasted the first 10 minutes or so of the movie. But still, like I think it's a good alt mode for Bumblebee, and I think the yellow form of it actually suits him quite well. What do you guys think? Are you interested in getting the Off-Road Bumblebee?
I think it's nice as a Bumblebee fan. There's so many of the other mold out there that it's a different version of the character.
I wonder if it is actually if it's just a retool of like the World War II B or not. I'm not sure.
I wonder if that chest is actually his grill or if it's just a faux grill.
It's pretty fake. Look at that. You can see the size of it there versus the headlights versus that one there. That's all right. I mean, like, he's not the first figure to pull that trick, and won't be the last.
True. I see. No, there won't be a Swindle repaint because he doesn't exist.
Oh, they might. You never know. They might just do a Studio Series Swindle. Make it orange and he's done. Give him a different head sculpt. Speaking of which, like the head sculpt is quite good for this one. I'm not sure that I've seen a Studio Series Bumblebee with such a good head sculpt. Like, there's metallic paint on there. There's the red for his Autobot logo. There's blue for his eyes. I feel like that's quite good. I don't know if we've seen any better Bumblebee sculpt.
Yeah, it's quite different. Does it have the armor bit that sort of slots down, or is it just sort of focusing on that?
I suspect not. Not. But you never know. It might be an attachment in the box. Who knows?
That's nice. It's got a lot of character to it, so it's just a different feel.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. There's a couple more reveals of figures, and we're heading back towards Earthrise, but we're heading into Takara Tomy territory. After having 2 years of not having any different paint jobs or anything on their figures, going back to Power of the Primes and continuing into Siege and into Earthrise, Takara is now back at the point of saying, hey, we want to do our figures with different paint jobs. So we are looking at the LG EX version of, actually, I don't know if that's how it'll be marketed, but the Takara Tomy Mall exclusive version of Earthrise has some slightly different paint jobs for their mercenaries. So while Hasbro has very sort of distinct grey military versions for the Allicons, this is the biggest difference. Takara Tomy's got pink and purple on their Allicons, and this is definitely not accurate to the movie, but I suspect there might have been an episode of the cartoon that had this paint job in it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's reminiscent of something I've ever seen in I don't know if it's comics or an episode of the show or something. It's got a bit of a retro feel to it.
Yeah. It's I feel like it's related in some way to the something that they did in the cartoon. You can see the Quintesson judge faces also carry slightly different paint jobs in here as well. Possibly more animation accurate, but I'm not entirely sure about that. There's sort of the classic judge that we're used to hearing from there. Oh, and look, I didn't know his mouth opens.
Yeah, they all have opening mouths.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Guilty.
So you can make them say guilty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see from this shot, actually, they will be designated as EREX08. So ER is obviously for Earthrise. Yeah, no. So looking at this photo in the Hasbro version, this is much more grey. So this is definitely getting a slightly different color scheme. So we might see a few people trying to import the Takara Tomy versions of Earthrise again for these. I quite like the pink color scheme, but I don't know why. There's also a slight there's Slitherfang, who's the little ramp former.
Yeah. I just feel so bad for this guy. A friend of mine saw him and was like, he transforms into a ramp. What the fuck's that about?
There's a lot of them that transform into ramps in this line.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll connect onto somebody. I mean, he'll connect.
The ramps all connect onto all of the bases that we've been getting for years. It was discovered this week though that they kind of you can't actually use them as ramps to. I'm just gonna put myself back on. Put myself back on screen here. You can't actually connect it as a ramp to go from, say, from a platform down to the ground like that, because the ramp has a robot sticking out the bottom of it, so it'll rest on the robot. The ramp won't touch the ground.
I'm just wondering if someone's going to have like one base here and one base like a few feet apart and just have them attached. Like a bridge?
Yeah, you can do that, but apparently they don't work quite so well doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but we will try.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
People will try. It does seem likely that some of the add-on manufacturers will actually make ramp pieces, because like the ramp connector is simple and it's the easiest thing to connect up to. So yeah. So there's a Slitherfang, and so back to the pink and purple Allicons. So those are I'm not sure if they're actually available at Takara Tomy Mall, but if you are going to buy from Takara Tomy Mall, you will need to ship somewhere within Japan and then forward it on from Japan. So if you're in the market for a freight forwarder, there's a bunch around. I use one called Treasure Japan. They helped me out of a couple of good tight spots with some Takara Tomy orders a couple of years ago, and they've been very reliable ever since. So I like them quite a lot. Let's move on. There's going to be we'll stick with some Takara news for now. So MP50 Tigatron is up for pre-order at a bunch of websites. A bunch of Australian retailers are selling in. The average Aussie price seems to be about $350. If you look at it, so he's a big boy. He's big like Dinobot was. If you look online and you go and order from HLJ, you can probably knock $100 or so off that. You can probably get them for $240, $250, $260.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely bumped into a few people that are, Beast Wars, and that is their thing. So, and there isn't, a huge range of characters like, the G1 collectors. I think the people that grew up on that are happy to go for it.
Look, I can't have a gap in my MP numbering, so I'm getting him. While I'm not actually that into Beast Wars, I haven't watched Beast Wars, but I actually do appreciate the Beast Wars masterpieces. I do like them quite a lot.
Yeah, there's some good engineering going on. The picture speaks for itself, really. The way visibility and it's a bit different than you got a vehicle which is a brick versus an animal which then turns into the character. It's two different things. So very well.
So look, I'm going to be acquiring Tigatron from somewhere, but I'm not sure where yet.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out what that thing is he's holding, but I think that's just there was an episode where he has a hacking visor. I think that's what it might be.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't watched the show, so yeah.
Yeah, we got to change.
Gonna change that. Yeah, sure. Well, I'm while we're all quarantining and chilling, if you can find me a place to stream it, maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's worth going through once. There are some G1 cameos in there.
Yeah, I know. I know all of this. This stuff is all not news to anyone. It's just I can't be bothered watching it.
No, fair enough. Well, maybe when you're coughing up in quarantine, you'll find it on a streaming site for you, and there you go.
Find it on a streaming site for me, and I'll put it on my watch list. We'll see how we go.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on. Next story is one that we left in for you, Alan.
Thank you.
Because so I don't know that much about the collectible card game. I don't know if Bradley does, but I know that you do, and I know that you're quite a fan. So there are 4 more Titan Master Attack cards coming out. Now, maybe you can explain to us why the Titan Master cards are useful.
They've basically brought out characters like previous lines. You got the individual characters, and now they've got separate cards acting as heads, and you can swap the heads between your Titan Masters, basically, because different heads have different abilities, and there's even a few cards in there, specifically aimed at them. Say your character dies, the head comes off and transforms, and he's still got your weapon, that kind of thing. Fortress Maximus does come with the box of the new wave, and he's obviously got Cerberus, and he's got a head option as well. So you kill one, the next guy comes out, kill him, the next guy comes out, and you build your strategy around that. And once again, the whole new wave of character cards, is there to mix up the game, change people's strategies, and like this one here, everyone was talking about. Okay, this one can you can target cards. So, say the previous waves, you've got a card to combine your combiner characters. So you've got one of the combiner wave, and you can target them by getting that card out of their hand. But they've introduced a thing where you've got specialized cards to boost the abilities of certain characters. So there might have been characters in the previous waves no one played with. They've basically brought in new cards. Say Cup was the peg warmer of the first wave, and now he's got a stratagem card basically that can potentially make him into like a killer character. So just these things to for the fans, and like this weapon case, a lot of the new characters have an extra star card you can play it or not play it, or just you got the options basically. Yeah, it's something different every wave really, but you've got the option of, because characters have star costs for when you're making a team. So basically, you've got the option of playing this stratagem, which makes it a more powerful character, or you can keep them as a lower cost character. So I think it's an interesting thing. I haven't played with any of these yet. One of the ones everyone's looking forward to is the Dinobot Combiner, which one where they've basically, no one played them. They've brought out one of these star cards, and everyone was thinking of playing them. So it's just they've been smart to how to make the old stuff viable and usable, and make the new stuff like the Titans. So there's one for Blitzwing. If you've got Blitzwing now, you've got a new thing to do with them. Potentially, it's an option. So lots of options there, and as normal, I'm happy to do some questions. That I did a few demo games for some people over the last weekend and gave them some cards. So it's a slow going game. Very big in America, but slow growing here.
Yeah, cool. That's fine. I've noticed there's a few events going on around the country. There's an event coming up this week or next in Brisbane, I think. I'm not sure. No, I in my little group, I've got two of the guys that went over to the Energon Invitational. I was in San Diego, and they if they won, we're going to win a chance to design a character, which is Outback. But just been revealed that they are doing an Outback card. So the Aussies were very happy that we're being represented in the card game. So that's good. We're always happy when Outback crops up in anything, aren't we?
We
were happy when he was revealed to be in Power of the Primes.
With what he calls his Decepticon detector.
The Decepticon Destructor.
Decepticon detector.
That's the Kiwi version of Outback. He's the Outback.
Outback.
I'd say that might be the more Canadian version. I'm not sure.
There's always plenty of YouTube videos on people playing the game and that stuff for people to learn. So, I mean, it's something people can very easily get into and get some starter sets and, buy some basic sets off people off, the internet to get playing. If anyone who's been into any kind of, collectible card game in the past, but you've got the whole nostalgia thing now, and now it's all original artwork and thing pumped into it. Like, it's just very fun game to get into when you're cracking open some packs, basically. Yeah.
Cool. Let's move on. Have either of you guys got the Magic Square Light of Justice Optimus Prime?
The Light of Justice. Is it? Oh, is it that one?
That's Ghostbusters, isn't it?
So the news is that Magic Square has released a new version of their Light of Justice figure, which it has a Ghostbusters thing. Sorry, hold that up again, Alan. Is that him? It looks like him. Sure.
It's the metallic version.
Yeah. How is he? What do you think? Do you like him?
I think it's great. I don't want to say anything bad about it, but I was one of the only rare people to get a misconstructed one. He gave me two left feet. Otherwise, it's a beautiful figure.
Oh wow!
That was a beautiful figure, not a pitiful figure, right?
He just doesn't dance very well.
No, he doesn't dance very well. But I mean,
have they fixed it?
I'm in the process.
Okay,
but that's why he's here. But otherwise than that, I mean, I think he's a very good tune accurate. I mean, there's people that got the official MPs versions and all that, but I very much enjoy him as a solid, cartoon accurate, Prime. And he has a few other accessible things like some broken glass options and different things here and there.
Yeah, just on that, I'm just curious as to whether or not I have a feeling that you're looking at the Masterpiece scale version, but I think there's a Legend scale version as well.
Yeah,
they
did. Yep, they did.
Because I think we might be looking at the Legend scale version in this story here. If I bring us back to the thing, so this looks small.
Yeah, because I mean,
Like if you look at where the rivet is on his chest skirt, like that doesn't look like the figure that you're holding up there. I think you might be looking at the MP scale one. I think what we're looking at is the Ghostbusters deco of the Legend scale one.
Yeah, those windows look a bit small on the chest, and that gun looks pretty huge. So probably a smaller scale.
Let's go. Yeah, so this is something that actually confuses me a lot with these, because Magic Square made their name making small figures. Then they went for big ones.
Oh.
Also, this photo is way out of focus, so I'm not going to stick on that one. So you can sort of now add the Ghostbusters Prime to the list of Prime repaints that everyone does when they make an Optimus Prime now, right? You've got the black version, you've got the shattered glass version, and
the Ultra Magnus version.
Yeah, the Ultra Magnus version. You might have an EVA version as well.
Yep.
Now you'll have a Ghostbusters version as well. But yeah, whatever else comes next, I'm sure it'll get added to the list as well.
Next, I'll say it's an evil Ultra Magnus. I mean, who knows?
Shattered glass Ultra Magnus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he looks fine. Like I'm not particularly attached to needing to have the Matrix. Not the Matrix. The Matrix is one of the next photos. I'm not particularly attached to needing to have the Ghostbusters version of every Optimus Prime figure on the face of the planet. I don't know if you guys are, but I can do without it.
Primes.
So does this count as a Prime that you need to acquire, Alan?
It's.
Have you acquired a Masterpiece Ghostbuster?
No, I haven't gone into that yet. But look, if I saw one cheap, and maybe if this was a viable option, I would have to see what accessories. I think accessories might be the cruncher. Like if there's some other accessories that go with it, I would say it doesn't have the trailer, and that don't really need the trailer.
Can't see the trailer in any of the photos, so maybe not.
But you know what? If this is the smaller scale, it really does. Now it's probably going to be a reasonable price. I actually think I might be interested.
Have you got the normal version at this scale?
No, because I've got the bigger one. I've got the other plenty of other ones similar to it, the hot.
You got plenty of other Optimus Primes, I believe. In the
yeah, I know it's a hard life. I would consider having a smaller, one of these in there. Yeah, let's do it. Where's the pre-order link? You bring it up.
You can probably find it on Saviour's Toys.
Yeah, I don't think I'd commit to an MP size, but like the other Ghostbusters one, but a smaller scale like this. Yeah, actually, you've talked me into it. Yep.
I don't really know how I did that, but sure. Okay.
Have you got the Masterpiece Ghostbusters, Jason?
I do. I've got the Masterpiece Ghostbuster. I've got Ectotron, and I've got a couple of add-on pieces for Ectotron, like a ghost trap in open and closed position and stuff like that. It's pretty neat.
Oh, very nice.
Right, we're going to move on. So, do either of you guys have the Generation Select Seacons on order?
No,
I've been trying like crazy to find them.
So, I think you can still get them from RoboToys if you ask nicely. But,
I was always thinking whether a complete set comes out, or even if say Takara.
I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah.
I think it's been mentioned and theorized, but nothing's actually said. Hey, we're definitely releasing all 6.
Yeah,
in one.
Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Do you know much about these guys? Because are they the same scale as the other Combiner Wars figures?
Yeah, these guys are extensive remolds and repaints of the other Combiner Wars toys. I know Turtler or Snaptrap is redoing of the, I believe, Silver Bolts. Combiner Wars Silver Bolts, I think. That's how long these molds have been around. I really look forward to hopefully collecting these, but like I said, I haven't been able to find a like a supplier that can, give me the hookup.
Not like EB, wasn't it EB Games or Zing or one of them was doing it?
I got a friend that works at EB, but it's just an EB store. It's not EB and Zing, so he can't order it from.
No.
Yeah. So I don't want to pay the probably extortionary prices that eBay will have them for. So I have to do some digging around, and hopefully I'll be able to find someone that can hook me up with the eventual 6 Seacons.
I've just got this gut feeling that the Japanese are going to bring out their own one, and then because like
I think this is a Japanese. Oh, here's Jason.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Are these Hasbro or are they Takara?
So it's kind of funny, right? So officially, the line is Generations because that's the name of the collected universe. It's Generations Select. But if you look very carefully at these, they're labeled Generations Selects. Now, when Takara does the Generations Select line, they misnamed it. And they've carried that name through to everything. And so these are Takara, and they are Takara, but Hasbro's also sort of distributing them as Hasbro does for anything that Takara does. So it's kind of weird. There's like 2 origins for the Gen Selects line. One could be from Hasbro as they sort of do their figures with Hasbro Pulse, and those ones are the ones that come in the brown boxes with the white labels on them. And then you get these ones that have the brown boxes as well, but I don't think they've got the white labels on them, and they have the black outer box. Which looks a little bit more like the Toys R Us exclusives from a few years ago when they did like RC and a couple of the others. They sort of had the fold out boxes. So like the etymology of the boxes and the design, I don't know. The Hasbro Gen Selects, they generally have they've got the rank insignias inside the boxes, and have I got one here? No, I don't. But ultimately they're kind of fairly similar. Like they package them all up very, very similar. Like you've got so this is inside the brown box, where you have the plastic insert and things tied in as they would be into a regular item. But what I think we have here, right? So we've got this one. So you're seeing the brown outer boxes here. These are the shipping boxes. And I think inside those you have the black sleeves. And then inside the black sleeves you've got more brown boxes.
Whoa.
It's like Boxception.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure these are the Takara ones. These are definitely Takara ones because of the mislabeled Generation Selects on the box. But they're all fairly similar, right? So I think when Hasbro distributes these, they'll probably just leave the black sleeve off it.
Yeah.
I'm not actually sure. So EB is the place to buy these in Australia, like from an official distributor. But EB's stock has been delayed, so I believe nobody who's ordered from EB has actually received their Seacons yet. They are being released in, I think, 3 waves. So there's like two per wave, and then the big one and the last one or whatever. But
it's per wave because there's 6 Seacons.
There's 6. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So nobody's received them, but there's 2 waves of them available from Takara.
Yeah, because I was saying to Alan before when you were gone, I got a friend that works at EB, and he couldn't find them on their systems. But then again, there is also EB and Zing stores, and I think they might be able to get the Seacons, the ones that are both stores combined.
Yeah. So EB and Zing are the same company, right? So you should be able to walk into an EB store and order anything you want from Zing. The fact that they can't find them on the system is slightly concerning, but it also depends what they searched for. Did they search for Seacon, or did they search for Select, or did they search for Transformers? Like, we know that we know that EB and Zing, EB, Zing, whatever the hell you want to refer to them as, they put items up for pre-order on their website and then they take them down once the pre-order is finished. So if that's the search that the guy did, he may have just loaded up the website and attempted to find the item on the website rather than looking in the stock tracking system. So who knows?
Possibly, yeah. Maybe I have to get back in touch with Robo Toys and ask them very nicely.
I think if you do ask them very nicely, then they might be able to help you. We'll see how it goes.
Yay!
Yeah.
They just did a box. Goodness, they've saved so much money on cardboard.
The what?
They save a lot of money on cardboard if they just put them in one box.
Well, so it's pretty normal with Takara stuff to come in a shipping box. So my MP4 sleep mode convoy came in. So there's the main box, and then there's the shipping box as the outer sleeve as well. Like I kind of want to keep the shipping box because MP4S is quite special.
Yeah.
I
mean that's fair enough. Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for the Seacon / Piranha King / King Poseidon because he's a unique combiner because he's got, the commander, then the 4 smaller guys, and then the other smaller guy transforms into Piranhacon's gun. So he's sort of a combiner target master, if you will. Yeah, very interesting. So I've got 2 of him, and I'm hoping to get this Seacon set that we're looking at now. Yeah, cool.
Look, I wish you luck with it. I think you'll find that there'll be enough around maybe after a while. I don't know. We'll see. It seems like it's just maybe just having trouble getting some stock out of Japan or Asia at the moment. Let's move on. We've got one more story we're going to talk about, which is a Studio Series-esque. It's not really a Studio Series. It's a third party movieverse Devastator. I do not personally understand why you would do such a thing, but it's been fairly well received by people. There are people, and we need to remember also that while we might be Transformers fans who grew up on G1, there are Transformers fans who grew up on the movies, and they're also getting to the point now where they can actually spend a lot of money on high-end collectibles. Hence, there's a lot of movie-style figures coming out from third parties at somewhat high prices at the moment. So this is Troublemaker coming from a new third party. I think he's a new third party called Devil Saviour. The 7 bots. It says Troublemaker collect DS01 to 07 to complete Troublemaker. And so he's an impressive looking rendition of Devastator as he appeared on screen. I'm just not very interested in Devastator as he appeared on screen.
Only just seen that he's also got a scrotum.
He does. You can stand directly beneath the enemy scrotum.
That whole thing is probably just made for that.
Well, all right, send me the link. All right.
There you go.
There you go.
Wow.
If you find the right photo, there you go.
I wonder if that's like, the balls that you see in a psychiatrist's office,
maybe it is hypnotic. So this is the combined form. We can't really see anything of the sort of individual bots and what their alt modes and robot modes look like. So I'd say it's fairly early days yet. We'll probably see more of this to come, but I don't care. But I don't care, but I'm happy for people who do. Hence it being in the show for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're fans of Transformers, but we're not fans of the entire thing. Some things we don't collect, and I'm just wondering if, because it says this is the first one, but it looks like it's 2, like one's mixed.
Maybe it is. Maybe this is 01 and 02.
Yeah, maybe. Because yeah.
I mean, look, clearly the story here is the combined form because, we can see prototype versions of all of the others. So, really, this is more a case of this is what Troublemaker looks like. So, yeah.
It's got a lot more personality than the other ones. I'll give it that.
It's quite articulated. It's not very obvious to me how large or small it is or isn't. So yeah, don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting that it can go into sort of quadruped mode because I don't know about the Studio series, but I know the Revenge of the Fallen Devastator couldn't do a 4.
I thought this was the only way to keep him upright, but yeah.
Yeah.
I need to stop being mean to this thing. Okay. I'm going to stop being mean to it by just bringing us back. How are you guys feeling about news? Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah. Very, very good. Very
fantastic.
Fun.
Fantastic. It's good. We always like an enjoyable news segment. We're going to move on to acquisitions just quickly before we get to the end of the show. We're running up to about an hour. If I flip back to the run sheet very quickly, you guys do all have some acquisitions. Bradley, do you want to go first on the acquisition side?
Sure. I'm going to try and stretch it out a bit as well because I think the first couple of minutes will probably be cut out of us just talking bollocks.
Don't stretch anything. Let's just talk about what you got.
Okay. I've gotten what's this guy? Siege Smokescreen. Very happy to have him. I've got him. So I've got Prowl, Blue Streak, and Smokescreen, and all three of them have different configurations for their guns.
They do, yeah. Barricade has a Barricade is similar to one of the others, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get Barricade, so that's how I'm able to have one mode for all three of them. So I've got Smokescreen with his gun facing backwards, so he can use that to shoot out the smoke, which I'm very happy with. I've also gotten Cliff Jumper in his little ski mode that he can make from the the huge bazooka that he comes with, and I've also added the effects from Jetfire.
I was going to ask where you got the effects pieces from for that. That works quite nicely.
Yeah, this is the Jetfire pieces. I did have originally the huge blast ones, but they sort of make it difficult for him to balance.
So this is your first Earthrise figure, Cliff Jumper?
Well, I've got 3 in one day, so this is the technically.
So I got Cliff Jumper as well. Alan, did you?
No, I haven't got him, but I do appreciate him.
So I find Cliff Jumper a really interesting one. Like, people are complaining about how small he is, but he comes with quite a versatile gun. Like you can form his gun and all his accessories into a lot of things. Yeah. But also I don't find his size too off-putting because there are other figures that are over the sort of standard deluxe size that come in deluxe boxes as well. So I believe it sort of equals itself out in the end. Like we knew that Ironhide and Ratchet and Crosshairs from Siege were also quite large for deluxe toys. So fair enough. I think that's fine. I like the amount of personality in Cliff Jumper. I like the giant gun that he comes with because that's kind of become Cliff Jumper's thing now. Yeah. And I like the fact that his gun has like a platform rest that can convert to the skis for his vehicle mode. I think it's cute.
It's very smart.
It's very solid, very good. It's a bit of I was going to say parts former, but not really. It's just the back end of the car is very interesting because you remove it when you want to transform him, and then when you got him in robot mode, you just attach it to his back. It's very
fair enough. I don't really have a problem with parts forming. Like, it's weird. It's weird that people are starting to use he's a parts former as a criticism for toys. I mean, so many G1 figures were parts formers. So I don't know.
Speaking of G1 toys that were parts formers, I got Wheeljack.
Yes,
I just realized the green has gone transparent.
Yeah, I noticed that there was a weird halo around the jet skis on Cliff Jumper as well.
Yeah. So I asked Jason at the before we started the show if we're not allowed to swear anymore, and Jason said no, it's fine. So
I said you can fucking go for it, but
yeah. I'm looking forward to getting the upgrade kit where his wheels actually fucking turn. Because I've noticed that with a few of the in Siege and Earthrise is it's just that the wheels don't really want to turn unless you actually, directly manipulate it. But I really
you mean if you put them down on the table and roll, they won't roll because they're sort of I see.
Put your body weight and the wheels are going now.
Yeah.
But I had Generations Wheeljack. I had him, and this is just. I really like this because it looks like the G1 toy. He's got a lot of like nods to other G1 references on his stickers. Well, not stickers, but his decals or whatever. And yeah, he looks really, really cool in both car mode and robot mode. So he's very, very welcome addition. And last but not least is Hoist, the transparent. Oh, heavens above!
Doesn't matter. Put your red filter over it. But yeah.
Yeah. Got the red filter. How's it look?
Don't do that. No, that looks terrible. It's fine. So Hoist, and I think Alan, you got Hoist as well. So we'll get a chance to have a look at Hoist when Alan holds him up. People were saying Cliff Jump is too small, whereas Hoist is, I think, pretty big for a deluxe. Yeah, and Alan, have you got your Hoist there?
I do.
I might sort of swap over.
Yeah,
a clearer look at him here. Now, tell me, how do you find him? Like, are you a fan of are you guys fans of Hoist? Do you like him? Because
I am. I'm
kind of tempted
surprisingly.
to buy him.
I really love it. Like when we were first talking about it, we were really sort of bagging those first pictures. And now I like the articulation and just the detail that went into it to replicate the original figure is just ridiculous, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
I mean,
with yours, have you put a Sharpie on the arm?
I've chromed up his weapon G1 style. So I mean that's what people can do. And look, attached a ramp. It's
nice,
a compatible part, so
the ramp seems a little bit floppy, but sure, go on.
So that's obviously the little.
So by attaching a ramp, you've given Hoist an arse curtain.
Yeah, he's my new Ultra Magnus.
Yeah.
No, like really, like I mean, he's got that bit of rust damage, and I got a bit nostalgic because my G1 has rust damage in exactly the same spot, so it's sort of like a updated version of my original one, and I just really enjoyed it. I mean, you can completely just customize how you want them. You don't have to have, obviously you can take the weapon off and have him with the fists. And when you really do look at the original toy in comparison, they've actually done a very good job of deciding how to, what details to keep on them. And, I think it's really good. Yeah. Surprisingly. I really enjoy it.
I think you've sold me on it. I think I'm going to go and seek out Hoist.
He's very
3 Earthrise figures, and I sort of told myself that's it for now, but we'll see what happens.
Very welcome addition. Very G1.
What else have you got there, Alan?
Well, I've got 2 that you haven't got at the minute. I've got these guys.
I saw Cyberverse Grimlock, and I reckon it looks pretty adorable in the box.
I got to smash down front because I hadn't seen him anywhere else. Because I do love getting the weapons for guys. So I thought, I'll give that to Grimlock because I've got them right there. And the hot rod. So I've got two characters remaining for the Builder figure.
Yes, they'll be out later this year.
And but I mean, they just have packed a lot of personality and articulation into these little skinny little guys. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I like to get these guys. I'm looking forward to them. But yeah.
Highly recommend those. So yeah, there's my acquisitions. Obviously, the other acquisition was that thing. There is a guy attached to it, but
the way you transform him is just basically by flopping him over, right?
Yeah, like you can flop out a bit and you can attach him as a shield. Yeah, he flops over. He flops over. That's one step changer.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've got all these guys now, so I think they're a bit of fresh air, especially
Yeah,
when
I think they are too. Yeah.
I think that's one thing that should be said about hoist, though, and some people have made this mistake. I'm not sure, but people have been saying, the effects he's got on his bonnet, the silver effects. People are like, "Oh yeah, I'll just wipe them off." Don't do that. Anyone listening, do not do that, because that is all one painted piece of blue plastic. You're not going to get green plastic underneath. It's all the transparent plastic that's made of his windshield and the headlights. So if you try and varnish off or clean off the silver scrapings, you're just going to end up with blue plastic. So don't do that.
Fair enough too. Yeah, interesting.
Look, I really, when you get it in hand,
Yeah,
it's really not a problem. Like, it might stand out, like this, but you see the real detail and it doesn't stand out as much. And
it seems like it's perhaps the least offensive of the battle damage and things that we've been seeing for the last couple of years.
Yeah. Like, he's got a smudge of something on his arm that you can barely see, which is remnants of the siege line. But
yeah, I think they've taken it the criticism about the battle effects damage sort of to heart, and it's been wound down quite a bit for Earthrise.
Yeah,
get that off.
Yeah, it has. All right. So, Alan, you've got one other figure which I also have. So I'm just going to.
I was going to let you show your photos of that one.
Yeah, I was going to flip over to that one there. So, as I said, when I was in Melbourne last weekend, I managed to acquire a few Earthrise figures from Myer at the 20% off sale, which brings the Optimus Prime down to a very reasonable $70-something, $72 or so. Wow. That was quite good. So I went out with Adam Templeton, and we went and got some toys, and then we took them out and took photos of them doing silly things like protecting my dessert. So cheesecake is the right of all sentient beings, as it turns out. And I think it's also worth noticing that Prime is completely or mostly, I think, battle damage free. Yeah. So there's no siege battle damage or stuff on Prime, at least not anywhere obvious. Now, one thing that people haven't really mentioned too much about Prime is that his hand's open. This is a new feature for he's a Voyager class figure. He's a Voyager class figure. He's sold as a leader, but his leaderness is the additional trailer that attaches to that Voyager figure.
Par for the course now with the leaders are just pretty much a deluxe or a Voyager.
Yeah, we know. But we haven't seen opening hands on those figures. Also, this is something that's new with Earthrise Optimus Prime, and it's quite welcome, but also it feels like it's sort of a trickle down feature that you would expect to see in a Masterpiece line figure coming down into the mainline chug. But also, it doesn't work that well because it's just a single hinge that opens up his whole hand. So I think if I do this, if I put myself up, so what you used to see on some of the figures was that the hand would open and it would open to there instead of opening flat. And so it opens up like a claw. So it's nice. I appreciate it, but it needs more work.
I think it's just nice to have a figure that comes with a Matrix and they can actually hold or interact with the Matrix, because Power of the Primes, never.
So he can, but he also can't.
Oh, really?
So this pose here, where I've got him holding his Matrix, the Matrix over his head. Yeah. This is actually the only way you can get him to hold the Matrix. You can't have him hold it in front of him, because if you look at the way his arms bend, and Alan's probably worked this out as well, I'm guessing. If you look at the way his arms bend, his arms would have to. If I put this back on, his arms would have to come up in front of him and then fold over there, but you can't do that bend because of the chest design in front. So the only way you can actually get his hands onto both hands onto the Matrix, and it doesn't really work very well, is by doing this over his head, which is kind of fine if you want to lay it out lightly darkest hour. You have to bring it up above your head anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. Is the matrix like openable at all, or is it just one solid piece?
I believe it's a couple of pieces. So there's a transparent piece inside it, and then I think the orange part is painted.
Okay.
So either the orange or the grey part is painted. Like it's likely to be two pieces with paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you can sort of see here that you can't quite get his hands onto the doors of the chest if they're open, even given the fact that you can open them, and you can see how the arms bend there. So you just can't quite get him to do the pose that you want him to do, but he's still a fantastic looking Prime.
Yeah, this whole thing is making me want to buy this Optimus Prime, the Megatron that's coming out. Makes me want to buy that as well. The only thing that's holding me back, and this is just like really, really stupid thinking, is the fact that I've got Power of the Prime's Rodimus Prime, and he just looks like a giant compared to this Optimus Prime and Megatron.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He does. I'd just ignore Rodimus Prime, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what most of the fandom does.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So besides that, I also got Cliff Jumper, as I mentioned. So I took one photo of him indoors at my dad's place, and then realized I probably need to take him outdoors for some better photos. So I gave him his gun to pose like Megatron, so he can do such heroic nonsense himself.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, like I actually really like this little tiny Deluxe. He's really nice. Like I said, he's got a lot of detail in his weapons. He's got all the sort of standard articulation and posability options that you get in the larger figures as well. He's really good.
I would just like to say, Jason, I'm very proud of you for not putting a Autobot symbol on his roof. Because a few people have done that, and I think it just ruins the figure. Well, not ruins.
I don't generally add those kind of things on as well. So I also managed to acquire an Earthrise Starscream. He's a very pretty figure. So it's kind of weird. He's short packed. If you want a Starscream and you go into a store and you see him there, you should definitely pick him up. Apparently, there's Starscream and Grapple in wave 1 for Voyager figures, but there's two different box allocations. One is full hoist, full grapple, and the other one is half grapple, half Starscream. So basically, it's like 3-to-1 grapple to Starscream. It's really weird, but Starscream was the one that I wanted out of this, and he's a very pretty Starscream. So,
yeah, I want to. I don't know. It hasn't been mentioned yet if he's being repainted into Skywarp and Thundercracker, has it?
Not sure. There's other Seekers that are due to come out, but it looks like they're going to be Coneheads.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to have them sort of in a larger scale, because I've only got the classics at the moment, and they are pretty small for what you would expect for Coneheads.
Yeah, true. And then I just put a bit of a close up on some of the detail on Starscream's face. Like, he's got a really good head sculpt. He's got the slightest of sneers and like an upturned lip. It's great. It's really nice. So,
have you got the Warfus Cybertron mold of Starscream?
No, but I've got Thundercracker.
Do they have the same head, or is it different?
I don't believe so. Okay. I think they're different, but I'm not sure.
Nah.
I think Thundercracker has a much more distinct sneer on his face. He does. Like, this one's very subtle, so I think this is probably a new design.
Okay. All right. It looks amazing though.
Yeah,
he is really nice. Like, the paint applications are really nice. Like, so at least from my uneducated eye, I would say that the red is painted there, the grey is unpainted. I think the blue is also probably unpainted, but the red is really nice, and the black you can see is very glossy on the head as well.
Looks great.
And that's acquisitions. I think we're done. We're done there. So Do we need to add anything onto the? Do we need to add anything before we wind up the show?
I think it's time to bring it on home.
It's time to bring it home.
Yep.
All right, we're going to bring it home. All right. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you're watching along with the live record, thank you for checking us out. We are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. You can find more information about the club, including yearly membership options at transformerscca.com. You can find all of us in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook, and you can subscribe to the podcast through your podcatcher of choice, be it iTunes, Pocket Casts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, whatever. You will find the RSS feed and more information on the website at transformersweekly.podbean.com. Bradley, tell us how to find you on Twitch.
You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/groovyguy0069. Jason, what's the slogan you're going with for this week?
Just look for the big pair of legs with the Bradley between them.
There we go. And I can also be found on Discord at Groovy Guy's Discord domicile.
Ooh, wait, what was that? Go again.
Groovy Guy's Discord domicile.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
On Discord. So come on in.
Cool.
Say hello.
Sounds good. All right, that is all from us. Alan, do you have anything you want to promote?
No, I'm not really trying to promote anything. No, I think last week with the Supernova, I met enough new people. So
that's right. You were at Supernova last week. How was it?
That was good. I particularly it was very nostalgic. Lots of stories of people in their collections and what happened to them. Either like one guy who lost his
terrifying.
People have lost their collections in fires, and lost it via family, and just the whole nostalgic sort of bringing it back and them thinking about it, and it was very, very interesting. It shows how deeply our our love goes through the community. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of shared trauma. There's a lot of people whose collections were thrown out by their parents after they moved out from home or as punishment for something. Plus, there's a lot of vindictive partners who might also take out frustrations on people's collections. But I think there's also a lot of people who, like me, my old G1s are in bags somewhere at Dad's place, and like at some point I'll find them. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but I still do my cards, and I do my customs as well, so people can find me through the Zombie Optimist customs and creations too. But you'll see me online in the clubs, etc. around, so I'm around in Victoria, so you'll see me around.
Fantastic.
Cool.
And you'll find me on Twitter at JM77. And I think most people probably already know me on Twitter, but we'll see how we go. And as I said, you can find us all in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. All right, that is it. Thank you for listening. And we will see you in the next week / fortnight / 3 weeks / I don't know. We'll see whatever happens in terms of quarantine and like come Friday. Like we are recording on Saturday night. Come Friday, we might all just be totally bored and we might just do another podcast because most of the time if we don't do a podcast on a Friday night, it's because we're busy. I think we're unlikely to be busy, so we might have some more frequent podcasts coming up. We'll see how we go.
To stay home and play with Transformers, people.
Yes.
It's the best way to avoid getting COVID-19 is to try to revive Optimus Prime to get rid of the rage virus.
Very much so.
Well, the hate plague it was, right?
Yeah.
The rage virus is 28 days later, but like they're the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cosmic Rust, hey.
All right, that's it. Thank you for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye,
everyone.